What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've made one. I've been pretty busy with school, but I figured the Oscars only come once a year, so I should put out my final Oscar predictions for you guys and try to quickly edit them together, even though I'm editing like a million different things, writing a million different things, because, screenwriting, and I have to edit for a course about story. If you can't tell, this will not be scripted. Because frankly, I don't have enough time for that. As you can see from my list, for Best Picture, obviously I think Everything Everywhere All at Once will win. It frankly has just won everything. PGA, DGA, SAG. It has broad American Guild support. And it's had enough, I think, internationally. At least it won a BAFTA, and that's why, frankly, the clear number two is All Quiet. I don't know why that's not really consensus, other than, I don't know, people are looking at anonymous ballots and be like, oh, I don't know who's number two. And it's like, well, you're probably not interviewing most of the international part of the Academy. And while that's not the majority, and that's why I couldn't really argue All Quiet would win. Because obviously there's some people in the Academy, the old people, who probably like All Quiet more. It might attach themselves to it because they think it actually has a chance to upset Everything Everywhere All at Once, which probably confuses their old brain. But frankly, it won all the BAFTAs that it could possibly have wanted. And frankly, it would have been nominated for Best Director, I definitely think, if it was if it was all the branches voting for it rather than just the director's branch. But of course, the director's branch would end up recognizing a more established auteur like Ruben Östlund in Triangle of Sadness, which also did get Picture, by the way. Instead of Edward Berger, who's kind of pretty much a breakout. He's also just not, his name is not inherently always tied to the movie for people, because All Quiet's almost his own brand, being the famous novel. But that's the clear runner-up, in my opinion. Everything else, I really don't think has a chance. Not really worth discussing. But speaking of director, Best Director, I think you got to go with the Daniels. Because Edward Berger isn't even in this category, even though I think he'd be the runner-up if he was, because, again, he won the BAFTA. All Quiet, I very much consider the runner-up. Spielberg has, the smallest chance, but, The Fabelmans has, while it performed decently at nominations, getting all the key ones, it got a supporting actor in, it got Judd Hirsch, it got Michelle Williams, it got screenplay, it got director, obviously Picture. It really hasn't gained any momentum. It hasn't won anything, really. And it doesn't look like it will win anything. I don't know. It's just had a lot less buzz than, a Banshees, which at least took a couple of BAFTAs, and screenplay there. Or, All Quiet winning all those BAFTAs. And while Spielberg is a big name, he already has 2 Oscars. And The Fabelmans hasn't been such a hit everywhere that I'm it needs to win. And this would break the streak of a TIFF People's Choice winner getting an Oscar for something. But frankly, I don't know, it's kind of par for the course. And they did kind of rig it by just it's a good movie. People liked it, but so many people saw it. And therefore, it'll probably get a larger percentage of the votes because there'll probably been a lot more people who literally only saw The Fabelmans or only saw The Fabelmans and a couple other movies. And most likely, those were your favorite, especially if you like movies. So, but I know that's kind of how it works every year, I think. But I don't know. That might be a more continuing trend that we might see more TIFF People's Choice winners not winning Oscars if this is how it goes. But we'll have to see. Best Actor. I want Brendan Fraser to win, for the record. But I did bet $5 on Austin Butler. So my final prediction is going to have to go the way of Elvis. The Best Picture argument's pretty strong in that Elvis has done decently. Will probably pick up at least 1 or 2 other Oscars. And Austin, some people argue maybe people are getting tired of his accent thing and all of his almost blatant campaigning. I think he just went so hard into the role that, frankly, his voice is just changed. I honestly think he's a little crazy, honestly, for what he's put into the role. And while Brendan Fraser, his narrative is amazing, I don't think it's so strong. Like, it's so perfect compared to, like, almost even, like, a Ke Huy Quan kind of comeback that he's clearly just going to be adored by everybody. I think people consider I don't know if a lot of people consider the better performance to be Butler's, but I think there's also some people who just don't like The Whale in a way that people don't, like, not in the same way that people don't like Elvis. So I gotta go with Austin Butler. I gotta go for the transformation. I gotta stick with the BAFTA has been stronger in the past. I think, and considering SAG went with all narratives, I can't see. I don't think that's as strong an argument because frankly, narratives just don't tend to hold on as strong at the Oscars. Going right from that into Best Actress. I mean, the narrative obviously is with Michelle Yeoh. Kate Blanchett, I think, would rather Michelle Yeoh win. I'm sure she doesn't, not want to be honored, with an Oscar because she is amazing in Tar. Tar is pretty prominent as a Best Picture nominee. It's probably top 5. Had a good amount of nominations that it maybe didn't expect to get, like editing and cinematography. And I don't know if the narrative for having a second woman of color actress winner simply, like, obviously Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is the comparison to say that Kate Blanchett will probably win. But then again, Frances McDormand was in Nomadland, the Best Picture frontrunner, and Michelle Yeoh is in the Best Picture frontrunner with Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it has had almost a similar sweep to Nomadland. And I think that's why for this video, I'm going to say Michelle Yeoh. I put in some pools that I don't know. This flips every day. I think I'm going to end up going Michelle Yeoh. She is also amazing. And unlike kind of the Anthony Hopkins thing, which is sort of comparison, that, again, stronger in picture, the father had a lot of momentum. Ma Rainey did not, as we saw with both Viola Davis and with Chadwick Boseman. Everything Everywhere All at Once still has so much momentum rolling into this final, the final Oscar ceremony. I'm going to go Michelle Yeoh. Supporting actor, Ke Huy Quan. I mean, Barry Keoghan got a BAFTA. That's nice for him. But that's very much a BAFTA's thing. And while they didn't love Banshees, like, I can kind of understand why they love Keoghan so much. I mean, that guy is kind of quickly becoming one of their more prominent thespians in the Commonwealth, because Canada isn't exactly producing any award-winning actors right now, unfortunately. So yeah, Ke Huy Quan, amazing narrative, amazing performance in the Best Picture frontrunner, won pretty much every award. Nothing else to say. Supporting actress, the least predictable. And I'm kind of tempted to almost continue with my trend of, going with the narrative. Because, again, Angela Bassett, I don't see it at the end of the day. I think Black Panther, while it had a couple other nominations, really hasn't had any momentum since getting her those wins at the Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes, which obviously matter the least. So I think it will be Jamie Lee Curtis or Carrie Condon. And when you think about that, I honestly, if Stephanie Hsu won the SAG, I would probably be predicting her. But also SAG, I think, will end up mattering less in this case because just there's such an overwhelming amount of SAG members who vote on that thing that I think her just being a story and a constant campaigner and a person people love mattered more. And I think there's enough Academy support for Banshees and for Carrie Condon, even if she's a lesser known name, to take this award. It's sort of like a Mark Rylance kind of win for Bridge of Spies. Banshees is also, pretty strong in picture, top 3, top 4 kind of contender. And Jamie Lee Curtis's performance, I think at the end of the day, most people would be like, that wasn't really especially if they're rewatching stuff, which I think a good amount of Academy members take their job somewhat seriously to at least rewatch or watch the movies. They'll be like, this wasn't really an Academy Award winning performance. But I think Carrie Condon's will stand out as that. So I'm gonna go Carrie Condon for the Oscar. Jamie Lee Curtis is right on her heels, though. I'm kind of counting out Angela Bassett, unfortunately, at this point. Just narrative's not strong enough. Best original screenplay. I think it's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. The thing is just, it's been too strong. It is the definition of an original screenplay. WGA win, Critics' Choice win, very strong combo. Again, BAFTA's very much liked Banshees overall more. And obviously that factors a little bit into Oscar voting. But again, the American consensus just is so clear with Everything Everywhere at Once, while the British international consensus is kind of split between All Quiet and Banshees to some extent. That I have to go Everything Everywhere All at Once. But Banshees could win. I don't think it will happen, though. Adapted screenplay. Luckily, Women Talking was nominated in Picture, which makes me a little more assured. I think Sarah Polley's respected enough in the Academy that they'll give her the win in the end for this. She got the WGA award. It's an important movie. I think people can recognize that. And All Quiet's a war movie. Even if I think it's a clear runner-up, I think it's 1917 was a clear runner-up. That was never going to win screenplay. So I think it's close enough to that, even though obviously All Quiet's a famous novel and there are prominent themes within it, but it was very much a movie made to display a filmmaking and a director's vision rather than the vision of any writer. They made some interesting choices. They made some different choices, but the writing was also easily the weakest part of it, and I think enough people will recognize that. While Women Talking, the writing is pretty much the whole thing. A lot of if anyone knocks Women Talking, it's for the fact that it kind of takes place in only one place and feels like a play. But that play is damn well written. I'm pretty sure most people recognize that. Where do we go now? Best original score, because I start off with music for Tex. I'm conflicted every day when Babylon might lose this, but people have made the argument the only thing that really has going for it, other than Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. Well, actually, no, it didn't even win Critics' Choice. That went to Tar. Other than the Golden Globe win, is it seems to be the objectively best in the category. But All Quiet did win at BAFTA. And Babylon also didn't win the Society of Composers and Lyricists. That went to, I think it went to Nope, which was shortlisted but not nominated. So I'm going to go All Quiet. Again, I didn't even put this in my Oscar pool, but it does make a lot of sense. It is, again, as I've said, the Best Picture frontrunner in my mind. It does have the very memorable... For Best Original Song, I gotta go Not To Not To. I mean, if Lady Gaga's song, if Hold My Hand was actually like a memorable song, I think it would be in. It would win, but I don't think anyone remembers even like the tune. I think it used some music from the movie, but even that's, that wasn't, not that I don't think that was even eligible for score, but the music was never really important. Not To is a banger, and frankly maybe also the strongest reason to think that Babylon would win score in a weird way. Apparently the number 2 is definitely Lift Me Up from Black Panther, but I think enough people love Not To and can get behind RRR, even though it wasn't in Picture, wasn't anywhere else, that it can win this. Let's just hope that's true, because I don't know. Top Gun I think isn't impossible, frankly. It's not impossible. It is the only best. It is the Best Picture nominee other than This Is a Life, but I don't think they would do that. They rarely even nominate those for song, but Honestly, if I don't know, I don't think This Is Life is impossible. Actually, now I think about it, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to bet like $1 on that. I get a bit of money if that somehow happens. Anyways, best cinematography. I'm gonna stick to All Quiet. Again, in my mind, number one, number two to Best Picture. Won the BAFTA. Won the British Society Cinematographers. The international support's clearly there. The guilds obviously didn't show it love in many places, but I think enough people have, the branch nominated it. So clearly there's respect for it. And I think for the whole Academy, this will probably be the winner. I can't think enough people will be like, yeah, Elvis had the best cinematography of the year. I can't imagine that actually happening. Best production design. This, I gotta go Babylon. You gotta go Babylon. Period. Movie stuff. Massive sets. It's the kind of thing they just almost got a reward. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Even without the Best Picture nomination. Even the BAFTAs gave it production design, for crying out loud. Like, no one's denying it this award. Avatar could upset, but like, I still don't think they've ever done like. Did the first Avatar win? I don't know if they've ever done a visual effects winner, like that. But we'll have to see. Costume design. I gotta go Elvis. I mean, just the montage alone that just shows him in the same position, on stage with all those different costumes. You're gonna show that clip and be like, oh my goodness, look at all these costumes and putting them all in the same time. Look how much work clearly put into them. Look how distinct they are. It's a period piece as well. And just creating how many costumes, and Baz Luhrmann's associated with those costumes. Too much, frankly. And while a lot of people love Ruth Carter, I don't think that's going to matter enough to get her the win for this. Especially considering Black Panther literally lost to the Costume Designer Guild to Everything Everywhere. Which, honestly, if that happens, I think Everything Everywhere might have to be number 2 for me. But I'm going to go Elvis. Makeup and hair. I got to also go Elvis. My main argument for this is that while the makeup in The Whale is integral, some people don't like it, like I said. And the fact that I'm also betting against Fraser in actor also makes me think Elvis has the double hit of having, Austin Butler looking like Elvis and Tom Hanks looking like fucking weirdo. And they also make him old. And I think people like that enough and remember that enough that they're gonna give Elvis that Oscar. Elvis 3 Oscars. It's kind of the Bohemian Rhapsody thing. Make a good musical biopic according to the Academy. You pick up at least a few Oscars. Visual effects. Avatar. I mean, duh. They made the whole thing, and the whole thing is visual effects. What else do you want me to say? Best sound. Also, this has got to be Top Gun. They love the loudest movies. Big plane engines and IMAX sound. Everyone saw this in IMAX. Everyone knows how loud this movie is. That's best sound right there. The BAFTAs even gave it best sound when they gave All Quiet literally everything else. Except editing. And editing, they went with Everything Everywhere All at Once. And they love engines. Actually, I think they love cars. We tricked ourselves. They didn't even give Dunkirk editing. They gave it to Baby Driver. They love cars, not planes. They don't give a shit about planes. That's why Top Gun didn't win. And while there are no cars in Everything Everywhere All at Once, or at least not featured prominently, it's clearly the most editing this year. And that's usually what they award. And luckily, the most editing was used for a really good purpose. So, easily, I think they're going to, I think everyone really respects how many times they have to, cut on the timeline in order to show you all those multiverses. That's hard work right there. That's the real, you know, grind of editing. Oh, the features. Animated feature. Pinocchio. I think Puss in Boots, a lot of kids were watching. Puss in Boots is not impossible in my mind, because even though they've given it to every, animated category has been notorious for being very shallow, and that pretty much all Academy members will probably opt in, and they don't have to watch all the nominees, and they've gone with what their kids have watched. And while they've probably made their kids watch Pinocchio / have name-checked Guillermo, their kids have probably watched more Puss in Boots in the past 3 months than I care to, I actually don't know if that's true. Other than the fact that it's made money, I don't know how many kids, it's not an Encanto where it's just like, yeah, let's just sit with my kid. They're going to watch that all day. Puss in Boots ain't that kind of movie, exactly, which is why I'm still going Pinocchio. But, it's not impossible. Documentary feature. I think Fire of Love is a very strong number 2. That being said, they're going to go with the anti-Russia movie. Especially if enough Academy members like Sean Penn are pissed off that they will not let the Ukrainian president speak at the award show because it's a divisive American issue, and they do not want anyone clicking off for any reason. But for that reason, the Academy, the liberals that they are, will surely nominate Navalny, even if people like Fire of Love more overall. Which is maybe true, but even then, I don't think enough people consider it clearly the better movie. The awards certainly don't show that. International feature, it's All Quiet. Nothing else has a chance. It's was nominated for Best Picture. Simple, easy. Let's move on. Best animated feature, short. Best animated short. The Boy, the Fox, the Mole, and the Horse, and the Horse Mouse, I think is too long and too boring. They have to watch all of them. So in my mind, I'm like, this is not, no. I don't think it'll appeal to enough of them who actually bother, they actually have to watch them. I don't think that will win. In my mind, it's between Ice Merchants and My Year of Dicks. And that being said, I'm going to go with My Year of Dicks because I think enough Academy members are immature enough to think that'll be funny. And also, I think enough of them will actually like it. It was apparently pretty stylized. They like a more adult animated shorts recently, it seems, with the windshield wiper winning last year. / If Anything Happens, I Love You, because that was an adult. You don't want to show a kid that. That'll traumatize them. It's about a school shooting. How dare you show them that? You show them the Boy, the Fox, the Mole, and the Horse. Ice Merchants, while it's cute, it may be too cute and too well animated. It's too nice, frankly. Best documentary short, Stranger at the Gate. How can you not give it to a movie about a guy who's going to shoot up a mosque and then didn't, and then loves the people of the mosque, and they love them? So it apparently is a good story. Some people think it's not a great take. That doesn't matter. They're still going to vote for it. Enough of them will, that I think it will win. And finally, the most important category, live action short. I honestly have no idea. And even as I'm speaking, I forget all the things that were not. What was nominated? Oh yeah, the Alfonso Cuarón one. And yes, they have to watch all of them. At the end of the day, I don't think they'll care enough about that. And while Apple, you could argue about that, saying that, they don't care about the films even if they watch all of them, they'll just go with the name check. They'll name check Alfonso Cuarón before they name check Apple TV. Okay? Or like a children's book. So that's why I gotta go with Le Pupille. Also, Alice Rovoroshkor made it. She'll be at Cannes this year. So will other people, and they will not be the one to go up to her and be like, sorry, we didn't give you an Oscar over this random Irish movie that people like, but I don't think they love. And might have got a BAFTA. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Anyways, those are my final Oscar predictions. I'll hopefully have these edited soon. That's what I'm telling myself right now. as I have to edit probably for the next 4 hours for both this and a school project. But I hope you enjoyed this reviewing episode. I hope to bring a couple more videos out soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will probably maybe be showing some clips of me reacting to the Oscars. Probably not live streaming it though, because I'll actually be with people. We'll see how that goes. Thank you guys for watching again. See you guys next time.